is a presentation of the iRacing Esports Network.
It's a full weekend here at Spa on GSRC with 4 different series all racing at this legendary track this weekend. We've had 2 tastes of open wheelers, one new and one old, but while we're sticking with the vintage racing genre, we now switch over to sports cars. It's just as fitting with multiple noteworthy tin top races having taken place here over the years. What will it hold for our drivers today? We'll find out soon as we get ready to watch round 12 of the iRacing Kamel GT series, and you'll see it all live here on the Global Sim Racing channel and the iRacing Esports Network. Hi, I'm Joe Peak, and with me in the booth is Sean Crackers Ambrose. Behind the scenes is our director, the Dr. Amjad Yaman, and he's using cameras provided by Dougie Beard. Sean, our viewers who have been watching already have a grip on what this place is about, but for those who are tuning in for the first time this weekend, why don't you tell us about Spa?
Welcome to Belgium, and welcome to the most beautiful circuit in the world. Yes, it's one of the most challenging racetracks in the world, mainly due to its fast, hilly, and twisty nature. This circuit probably demonstrates the importance of driver skill more than any other in the world, largely due to Eau Rouge and Blanchiment corners, both which need to be taken flat out to achieve a fast run onto the straights after them. This aids the driver in both a fast lap and an overtaking. You know, they designed the course back in 1920, and they laid it out all over public roads. The original course had 25 turns and was almost 15 kilometers long. It was a monster. But after World War II, they shortened up the track and still remained one of the fastest road circuits in Europe. But over the years, they've really changed it a lot. And in the modern layout we're racing on today is 7 kilometers, about 4.3 miles, 21 turns here at Spa. But the best way to get an idea what it's really like to get around here, hop on board for another GSRC lap around Spa-Francorchamps.
All right, we've got Ryan Strodbeck in the GSRC Audi, so let's do a lap around Spa. La Source is going to be an excellent place to pass, but on the first lap, it can be a bit chaotic. Watch out for the over-under if you do attempt an overtake. It'll be extremely important to focus on getting to the power quickly out of this sharp hairpin. But now, we plunge downhill towards Eau Rouge. Hold it off to the right, and then aim to clatter across the curbing to the left. Get on the brakes at the bottom of the hill and use the compression for grip. Over Radillion, the car is gonna get light, but once again, managing to apply the throttle early will pay dividends down the way. The Kamel Straight is an uphill climb, and that makes every ounce of momentum you carry extremely important. Cars are likely to use their opponent's draft to try to overtake as well, so you need your head on a swivel. Into Lacombe, this is one of the most popular places to pass, but the switchback of the chicane leads to some gutsy defense moves. Granted, they don't always turn out great. Up through Malmedy, we're now at the highest point on the track. We immediately head back downhill into Ravage, which invites you to try and brake later than you should. Trust me when I say you should resist that urge. Understeer will be a problem for everyone around this bend. Try to keep the car off the right on exit to set up for no-name corner. I've always found it embarrassingly easy to drift wide here and rack up 1Xs. Now we come back down into the valley and race towards Pouan. The elevation keeps dropping all the way around this double apex corner. It takes a lot of patience in the Audi waiting to get back onto the throttle so that you know you'll stay on course. At the bottom, come back across to the left to line up for Fagnes. This medium speed chicane always feels like a compromise, and neither apex tends to feel like you got the most out of it. Still, it'll be easy to lose time here, so don't relax because this is a track where you can't let your competitors gain an inch on you. Up next is Stavelot. This set of right-handers is extremely important to your lap time. The second apex is definitely much more important because, as you can see, it leads out onto the backstretch where you'll be on the throttle for a long time. At this point, you've made your bed and all you can do is minimize your steering inputs around the gentle curves. But with this being an older car, Blanchiment is definitely not flat out. That doesn't make it any easier to get it picture perfect, and a clean line will still pay off. Then we fly towards the last great place to snag a pass, into the bus stop. The four-wheel drive does allow you to get a little aggressive on the curbs, but you do still want as much rubber contacting the pavement as possible. Once you know you've got the grip available, get on that right pedal. Hopefully you've kept it all together and have now finished a lap around Spa.
There you see a lap up and down the hills of the Ardennes as qualifying just taking place right now. So why don't we take a step over and look at the points championships. They've got 4 of them that they covered here in this series, starting with the prototypes, the GTPs. Fabian Gerber has clinched the championship with it being 25 points for a win, not even taking into account that he has a win as a drop race there. You can see he has clearly stepped away and taken this one by storm. Clayton McLeod made a valiant effort, though. Really, the only battle for position here in the top 5 that you can see is between Schneider, Emerton, and Jungluth having to fight over the scraps of 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Now let's jump over to the GTP Lights. This is sort of the amateur championship that they run in this series. And up at the top of there, John Keefe leading the way and has also solidified it. And this, again, is because of the drop weeks. No matter what, he gets 16 points. So even though Michel Rugenbrink is within mathematical distance of overtaking him because of the drop weeks, John Keefe, no matter what, gets some points and will be able to run away with the GTP Lights Championship. Really, again, the battle for 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Krejcik, Bell, and Anderson are fighting over there as having swapped places each there in the last round. What about in the GTO, the Audis? Sean, what are we looking at there?
You got it, Joe. Villarreal at the top right now, 187 points. That with the drop races figured in, he's got a pad of 20. Looks like Villy going to wrap up a championship today. Now, down in second, Rob Olenek had a great season, and he's going to have to be careful here to hold on to second. No, actually, he's going to be good to second now that I look at this. Jamie Hall back there in third. Outside chance to catch him, but we'll see here. Phil in and around the lake, up to 4th here. The late charge this season, some good results, has him down in 4th. And Riley Thompson, that's that Mid-South driver sitting there in 5th. It had a very, very strong start to the season. Came into this for the first time, tailed off a little bit, but hey, it's Spa. He could have a little bit of fun and maybe get himself a victory here today. Now let's look at the GTU standings. Hideki Koivico up top there. Now Matthew Jete has an outside chance to catch him and pass him, Joe. So we'll see here. Brian Shanahan down in 3rd and David Roth completing the GTU standings there in 4th. Joe, I want to give a quick shout out to Mike Kopak. We had found out earlier this week that he's had some medical trouble. He's stuck in a hospital and can't race. We're going to miss Mike out here, one of the Kamel GT Series regulars, but we wish him well and look forward to seeing him next season.
Yeah, he is a real staple around here, so disappointed to see that Mike isn't able to show up. We wish you the best, Mike, and quick recovery to you. Now, in case you haven't watched one of the Kamel GT races before, and a quick note about those points that we showed you, that is just for the races that have been broadcast on the Global Sim Racing channel over this season. Now, for the race details for today, we are in the final round, with this being official racing, of course, and this being the last week before week 13. The race distance that they do is 40 minutes, and because of that, it means that you should not expect any cars to make a scheduled stop. They should all be able to make it to the end. It is open setup, and the drivers can tweak them to their liking. Can be a bit important, especially at a track this fast, especially in those Nissans, which require so much downforce. And you saw there on the graphic what the points are worth with the 25 for a win. Qualifying, as we mentioned, is taking place right now at the top of the GTP's. Antti Lepisto leading the way ahead of our championship winner this season, Fabian Gerber. And Rob Olenek has himself the pole over Nick Lucanos down there in the GTOs. And in fact, by quite a margin at the moment, Sean.
Yeah, oh, whoa, look at that.
Never mind.
Jamie Hall goes to the top. Wow, what a run. And Antti Taro goes to second just behind Jamie Hall there. What a run by Jamie Hall with only 49 seconds, I think, left when he crossed the line.
Jamie Hall been on a good run recently, had a great race at Donington Park, a very different track to this week. I'm sure they'll be grateful, Sean, to have much wider spaces to race in compared to Donington.
Yeah, definitely. This seems like Talladega compared to Donington, man. Yeah, no, this is now, Joe. one thing we haven't talked about, you and I have talked about over the past couple of days, the off-track incidents and how easy they are to pick up. You got to watch yourself here at Spa.
Now, the good news for these drivers is even though they need to watch out in terms of safety rating, as it still will affect them, there is no incident limit in the Kamel GT series. These guys are close-knit community, elected not to have an incident limit here. So qualifying is over. Let's go through your grid. Anti-Lepisto, as we mentioned, managed to put it on pole. Nicholas Schneider gets himself up onto the front row, toppling Fabian Gerber. In fact, it's not just Nicholas. Tapani Linuoto gets himself on the row 2 in third, and Fabian is pushed all the way down to fourth. However, he's been dominant this season. I wouldn't be surprised if he's able to get himself another win. Justin Albrecht has been on the rise. He'll start from fifth with Timu Toika in sixth position. Luis Emerton as well, another driver who's impressed this season. He'll start seventh. Expect him to move up. He's really good in the races. Pablo Suarez will start in eighth with John Keefe in a ninth. Just missed out on a win last week. Clayton McLeod will start within the top 10 with Fabian Jungbluth starting in 11th. Miku Ihalainen in 12th, and Martin Krejcik starting in 13th. Then Sean Romig, a name I'm not sure that we've seen here in this series, starting 14th. Ben Lafter 15th. Jose Sanchez in 16th, and Johnny Bell will start in 17th. We got a few drivers didn't get laps in the GTPs. That's Guillermo Crevo, Donald Peak, and Chris Howard. Sean?
Okay, down to the Audis. It's Jamie Hall up on top there. Antti Terho going to start right alongside him. Rob Olenek got a third place starting position. Phil in and around the lake, fourth. Nick Buchanos in fifth. Riley Thompson going to start in sixth. Matthew Jette, a seventh place start for him today. Franco Scurry is back with us, and he is starting eighth. Mika Kivipuro, I'm sorry, Mika is with us again today. He's starting ninth. Yoni Kajanen, a little slow. I'm kind of surprised, actually, Joe. He's going to start 10th. Hideki Koivico, 11th. Reed Miller, our Canadian friend, he's starting 12th today. Miroslav Juracek starting 13th. Brian Shanahan, 14th. Let's see, is that Kirill Joe, I didn't see this one. Kirill Kulopuzov. Yes, there we go. 16th. Thomas Delma starting 17th. 18th going to go to Giorgio Buscemi. 18th for him. Cedric Pohl is with us today, 19th. And Darren Ferrer is going to round out this 40-car field, starting 20th in class. Joe, we got a perfect split, 20 and 20.
And not only that, but it is an absolutely full field out there. For those of you familiar with how iRacing works, it's they split the fields once it reaches a certain numbers. 40 is the max here in the Kamel GT series, so they've got the most of each of the cars that they could possibly have in one split. So Roof Pace car has peeled off, but they will not start yet. This is the endurance layout that they are running here today. So the start line will be after La Source. The finish line is on this straight, though. It is the Grand Prix finish line just out of the bus stop where the race will end. Something to keep in mind if in case it's close. So as Lepisto leads them down, he does not wait at all. Look at him take off like a shot as the green flag waves, already stretching them out single file as they run down towards Eau Rouge. Everybody seems to be safe. No, they're not, as Luis Emerton with a bad start, a wreck, along with Fabian Gerber of all people. Two of our fast drivers out at the start. Let's go to the Audis.
No, they were 3 wide in in La Source, Lapingle. I'm okay. And so far, it's Antti Terho jumping to the front here. Wow, what a move into Eau Rouge. Oh, and we got a slow Nissan there to the left. That's okay, everybody. Riley Thompson already up to 4th. Here we go, Joe. We are off to a flying start here.
Woo, the GTO field absolutely scattered, but thankfully nobody ran into that GTP driver. That was Gerber as they come down to Lacombe now. Bit of a battle there between Jamie Hall and Riley Thompson. Hall comes out on top, his teammate sandwiching them. Phil Lake trying to get by Riley Thompson, but to no avail.
Got a Riley Thompson sandwich here.
Down into Ravage they go. Sometimes you can sneak passes, but looks like most of them are single file. Bit of a wild start for both classes. Sad to see both Gerber and Emerton have a bad end of the season. They've got a lot of work to do.
That is huge. We've got a replay of it, Joe, but that is tremendous, those two being out here.
Let's take a look on the replay and try and figure out what happened, because I just saw the end of it as they smashed into the barriers. We're watching Gerber come down the hill here, side by side, maybe just 2 into 1, and Eau Rouge not working. Yeah, Emerton did not realize he had a car to the inside, and well, that was all she wrote. We're going to watch it one more time from the chopper.
Yeah, I don't think Emerson. Yeah, he just didn't know he was there, Joe. We've seen these guys race enough this season, and we know that's not the type of move we're used to seeing Luis make.
No, these typically pretty clean drivers, despite the chaos that you see in this series. Well, this shuffles up the front. Lepisto leads after 1 lap. Lina Luoto is in second, and Schneider rounds out our podium, but Albrecht is promoted to 4th. And in fact, I think Albrecht is going to make that a podium spot here, as he's going to go up the outside of Nicholas Schneider into Lecoombs, and he gets it done.
Joe, again, the fight is in La Source once again. It's Riley Thompson. Now, boy, that was
missed a shift.
He did. Yep, and that allows Phil Lake, Jamie Hall both to get by.
Well, this is par for the course for these Dirty Torque guys. They always seem to run close in pace. So line astern, Hall in 3rd in that class, Philip Lake in 4th, but they're losing touch on our leaders. Olenek and Terho starting to stretch away.
Yes, they are, Joe. And Terho, I'll tell you what, after taking down 3 spots at the very start of this race, is just nailing it right now around Spa, and that car is going to be hard to pass. And honestly, you know, he's got the he got the 1 on the door. There's a reason for that, right?
Yep, that is your I rating. The driver with the highest I rating gets the 1, and it goes on down to the lowest, being number 40 in this case for this field. So that tells you that Ante is certainly not someone to fool around with. He has got some speed.
He's pretty good.
Right now, it looks like Olnek's giving him a run for his money. He's not dropped off, even though he's not within position to challenge. Let's jump back up to the podium of the GTP class, though, because Justin Albrecht has not just gotten past Schneider. He's holding on to the back of Lina Luoto now, seeing if he can make it P2. They worked their way down the hill 1 last time. We hop on board with the infamous 007 Cam. And to Eau Rouge, looks like Lina Luoto with a good run off of La Source, and that's going to keep him safe from Albrecht for now. Oh, but as I say that, just not good over the hill. Here comes Albrecht streaming towards him, takes a look to the inside. Can he outbrake him? He's going to try. Oh, he starts to lose the car.
Oh, it snapped.
Goes around.
Couldn't save it. Oh, he almost had it, Joe.
It was a valiant effort.
It's Nicholas Schneider, who are going to go on board with him and watch this.
He knows how tough it is at the top. And I can report as this is happening that we had another incident just behind him with Martin Craytree making contact. Woof, great job by Schneider to take avoidance there. As we come back live, he's going to get going in 12th position. Is Justin Albrecht, but watching Nicholas Schneider, who's still on the back of Lina Luoto, and that incident has brought now Timu Toika into the mix.
We don't have to go to it, Joe, but just a quick update. Yoni Kajanen just got by Nick Bucanos. He's now, I said I was a little surprised by his qualifying effort. He's picked up 6 spots already, so Yoni might have had an off track there in qualifying and set him back.
Yeah, easy to do that out here as we watch the cars head through Rivage. A lot of cars line astern here in the GTOs. I have to imagine the draft pretty powerful with this boxy car at a track like this, Sean.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Much more so for the Audis. And, of course, when the Nissans get behind the Audis, they'll be able to use a little bit of that as well. Oh, we see something happened with Suarez.
This is out of the bus stop.
Wow. Big trouble in the bus stop, Joe.
Oh, and well, this is bad news for Clayton McLeod. He had a bad week last week at Donington Park, and his woes continue.
Wrong spot at the wrong time, Joe. On board with Clayton McLeod. He's actually going to get through this. He's going to seek safety off to the left here.
Moonbluth is well cutting the course just to try and get through. Canadian having to trundle his way back on track. It was kind of the same thing last week, just in the wrong place at the wrong time, up into McLean's as we look at Ben Laughter, who's successfully, I'd say, switched over to the GTPs this season. He's found a good bit of pace there. Up at the front of this class, though, Nick Schneider not giving up on Lina Luoto for that second place. He's been absolutely hounding that Mercedes liveried car. Hasn't found his way past yet. And really, he's going to want to hustle because Lepisto's starting to stretch away. It's a 3-second gap from first to second place at the moment. And it's still 32 minutes left on the clock. A long race to go. He doesn't want to let too much time go by for our leader to extend that gap.
Yeah, and that is not the same case here in the Audi class, Joe.
Birds chirping away in the background of Spa here as that's Mercedes Sauber working his way towards the bus stop, one of the popular passing places. He's well safe from Schneider for now, as through Blanchimont, he's not able to gain much time. Could get a run off of here. Great exit. Wow. Much stronger through that slow chicane than Tapani Lina Luoto. Doesn't look like he's interested in making a dive through La Source, though. So down towards Eau Rouge they go. And this is going to make a big difference through this fast, infamous corner. And I think he's got to run. And as while this is happening, we had an incident with Jose Sanchez. Let's stay on this battle. This is for second place. Tapani able to hold him off into the braking, but I'm wondering if this is a matter of time. We've seen the pressure that Schneider's been putting on him. That incident with Sanchez we mentioned earlier, that was out of the bus stop. See if there was anybody else involved in that. Looks like just turbo lag taking another victim, Sean.
Yeah, and that'll happen on these machines. That is a shame. But when it hits, there's generally very little you could do, man, except try to hang on and remain a passenger. Listen, this battle continues to rage on here. Jamie Hall leading his teammate Phil Lake, but Riley Thompson still trying to make up some ground here after picking up several spots early, letting those two get by him after he missed a shift, and he's still working on getting it back. This might be a great opportunity here if Riley can get down the hill and keep her wide open through Redelian and Rouge.
Yeah, Riley's had the bit between his teeth these last few weeks. He had a slump in the middle of the season, just not having enough time to get practice. I think he's trying to make up for that. But they are dead even as they climb up the Kimmel Straight, not making much in the way of ground on Phil Lake for now. Also, I believe we had, Chris Howard just spun in Fanyes. Did he have any help on this one?
No,
like
Joe.
A single car incident.
Yeah, no, I was all on his own. He got a little bit too much curb, and when he transitioned off the curb, the car went around on him.
We see just the tail end of the incident. He did lose a few positions. In fact, he is the last of the GTP cars running now. As we come back live, you see Don Peak has gotten by him. And I know he's going to hate me for bringing it up, but I only do it this once. But yes, that is relation between us Peaks, and he's going to let Howard by, it looks like. As Don, and he might get it back as Howard outbreaks himself into the bus stop.
Yeah, Joe, I believe you call him Dad most of the time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Glad to see him coming out to race today. I won't mention any more, I promise, Don. Meanwhile, in ninth, change of positions as Clayton McLeod loses out to Justin Albrecht. Albrecht must have had an issue that we missed. because he started this race in 5th and just taking 9th now. That is not the sort of spot we tend to see him in.
Well, he had that spin earlier, Joe, that slowed him down. Now, he didn't lose all 9 spots then, but yeah, it seems to be a bit off. I don't see much damage on the car. He should recover here. We'll see.
And Schneider with some issues. Bad to see for Schneider. At least Toyka sneaks by him. So while Schneider, and look at this, they have caught just a mess of these GTO cars weaving their way through.
It's time.
On that traffic has allowed Tapani Ludowoto to stretch away, making his way through just a little bit better than the other cars around him. Right on board with Schneider as he overtakes Darren Fair. He's holding on to the back of Toyka for now. Lepisto's already made his way through a lot of these guys. In fact, he's caught the next group of them, which has Brian Shanahan. Easy passing for him down towards Eau Rouge. Boy, a lot of GTO cars out there today.
Oh, yeah.
So he still has plenty of the slower field to work his way through.
Yeah, and honestly, Joe, he's about to hit the bulk of it now. Once he gets past these next 2 cars, then it's basically your top 7.
Bronislav Robanek is going to be the next one as we take a look at Franco Scurry. There's Robanek letting him through in Rivage. Then it'll be Kirill Kolobuzov, we think. A newcomer to this series. I don't believe we've seen that name at all yet this season.
No, we haven't. No, I remember having to try to get through that one.
Let's go back to Justin Albrecht. He's been working on Ben Laughter, and they are in the thick of the traffic right now. In fact, it is 2 storms meeting as we've got a train of these GTP cars going through a train of the GTO cars. And Clayton McLeod having a bit of problems as he tries to fend off Suarez. Oh, and he loses out, spins it around, narrowly avoided by the car of Cedric Poli, and just ahead of them another car has spun. That is Sean Romig.
Yeah, Romig has trouble too. He's in the orange car right there.
Jägermeister machine. Just a little bit too much power off the corner, and he finds the wall with a hard hit.
Yeah, and there's Clayton spinning behind him. Oh, man, and that one GTO.
That's Poyle. Cedric Poyle had just the most wild ride.
Yes, he did. Watch him avoid this. Watch the hands.
French driver sees one spinner, has to take evasive action, barely makes it through, and oh my gosh, there's another one.
And he was as cool as the other side of the pillow there, Joe.
Oh, a driver not as cool as the other side of the pillar is Mika Ihalainen, just spun coming out of the bus stop, and he takes some damage in that Valvoline machine.
Oh, he's going to be disappointed too. He put in a lot of practice this morning. Oh, that Joe turbo lag, that hit him.
It's a killer.
Yeah.
It just, you got to watch out for it. Meanwhile, as we come back live, that's Fabian Jungbluth being overtaken by Justin Albrecht, still making steady progress. Whatever mistake he made, he is trying to do his best to make up for it. He's not just taken 7th, now just up ahead of him. That is Ben Laughter. Car of Giorgio Buscemi letting them through. They come down the hill towards Pouhon. Ooh, this is going to be interesting. Robanek just ahead of him, tries to pull out. Oh, 3 wide, and it doesn't work as Albrecht gets tipped into a spin by Jungbluth.
But this is not Albrecht's day. Well, here we go.
I'd say that Robanek was an innocent bystander in that one. He was trying to let these guys through.
Yeah.
And he did the right thing. He stayed wide once he had one of them inside. But Jungbluth trying to take advantage at the wrong time, I think.
All right, Joe. The leaders of the Nissan field have now caught the leaders of the Audi field, and this is going to get interesting. You got Joni Kaisen right now getting passed here by Antti Lepisto and Tapani Lenaluoto. Heading down the hill.
They've gotten through, and next on the list is going to be Riley Thompson for Lepisto, so he's got a short breather. And unfortunately for Lepisto, and I say that, but he's catching him very quickly. Thompson a bit slow over Radillion. Easily passed by Lepisto. But for those not familiar with this series, these GTO cars have some grunt in a straight line. Can make it a bit frustrating sometimes for the GTPs.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, definitely this course here, speeds on the straights, on the long straights here will be comparative and can cause frustration for those Nissans, like you said.
Oh, bad day for Mika Ihalainen is he's headed into the pits to get some repairs done from his earlier incident. That'll put him at the tail of the GTP field, unfortunately. Meanwhile, we're watching Toyka still has Schneider all over the back of him. And as the dirty torque car of Phil Lake manages to let them squeak through, but certainly not a convenient spot to try and get by.
Hey, Tapani is losing a ton of time, Joe. He is really having trouble getting past. He just had trouble getting past Rob Olenek, and then he had trouble getting past Jimmy Hall before that. Now, finally, Tapani able to get back in the saddle and get going again.
Oof, as we rode on board with Schneider, you got a feel for just how frantic it is. Look at them slice through, and Blanchimont cars taking off track. This is why they have no incident limit in this series for cases like this.
Schneider almost into Taro there.
Managed to back out in time. Now he's going to get by under braking into La Source, thankfully. Head on a swivel for every driver out there today. And if you think this is crazy, go back and watch some of the shorter tracks that these guys run.
Yeah. Didn't we do Snetterton last season? Like the 300 version, I think, of Snetterton? Yeah.
I believe so.
Talk about small.
All right, halfway through this race already, Sean. Our leader in the GTPs is Lepisto. Antti Terho still leads in the GTOs, but everybody else has been mixing it up throughout the field.
Yeah, Joe, Antti Terho leads, but not by much. I'll tell you, the guys behind him have done a good job of keeping pace. Olenek, Jamie Hall, Phil Lake. Riley Thompson is still in this. He's fallen off a bit, but man, the top 5, top 6 here, still very, very strong in the Audis. I really think this is anybody's race right now.
I'd agree with you there. The way that they've not been able to get away from one another, really the only thing that seems to have separated them is this bit of GTP traffic that has interrupted the battles every once in a while. So as we watch them plunge down into Fanyes, Phil Lake still doing what he can to hold on to his teammate, Jamie Hall, as they're overtaken by John Keefe, who we got to give some credit to. He's got himself within the top 5, having started 9th today. That number 21 is looking at a good finish. Another car easily overtaken on the outside of Curva Paul Frere. Still going to be Stavelo 2 to me. Gasquet. To check up a little bit coming through Blanchimont. Is it flat out in these Nissans heading through there?
Yes. Maybe a slight hesitation, maybe a slight lift, but no, it's pretty much flat out.
Meanwhile, watching the battle between Terho and Olenek continue on. Now down to 0.7 of a second. That traffic helping out slightly. You can see getting close behind them between teammates as well, between Hall and Lake.
Yeah, I really think Rob is going to track him down. If he can get a good run here up the hill, he might be able to pull him into the draft. Might be just outside of it, I'm afraid now.
That's been laughter coming through. Going to interrupt this battle just a little bit. Ooh, got a big slipstream. Jamie Hall. Oh, looks like he's run out of straight, but Jamie Hall goes in very deep. He's going to have the inside into Malmedy. Can Lake get it done? I think he's got it. Advantageous move by Phil in and around the lake to move himself onto the podium. Getting right up on that rear spoiler. Hall's not giving up.
That's the 8 and the 9. Now in their right position there, Joe.
So, down into Pujan. I don't think this battle is over by any stretch of the imagination.
Here comes Pablo Suarez. Watch out, boys. Oh, Suarez got to thread a needle here.
Nicely done. Trying to use it as a bit of a pick, but Philip Lake shuts the door, and Jamie Hall is going to have to settle for fourth for another few corners. Oh, another GTP sliding it in. Woo! Jose Sanchez causing a bit of a scare there. Maybe Newbluth has to go off the track.
How did Jamie get through that? I thought for sure Jamie was going to get into that, and I think we've got a replay of it. Let's look at it real quick, because Jamie Hall was almost the real big loser in this, Joe.
Yeah, I'd say he just sent a prayer up to whatever deity he wanted and came out the other side. Watch this. There's a car suddenly, and it's gone.
Wow.
Oh, trouble for Terho. Terho off track in the bus stop. Was that?
It was, Joe.
That was traffic.
That was Pablo Suarez getting into the back of Terho in the bus stop. Here it is on the replay.
I tell you what, after we watch the TV cameras, let's watch on board with Rob Olenek. He placed his car perfectly, Sean. Look at that.
Yeah.
Saw it happening, said, all right, I'll just sneak that down to the apex.
Here we go.
First, thank you very much.
I'm gutted for Terho right now. He didn't deserve that.
He was. I'd say he was a bit of an innocent victim on that one.
Yeah.
New Englander, in the meantime, is now up to the lead, and by a good gap, 1.7 seconds back to Phil Lake. Going to get some more traffic. Fabian Jungbluth, 8th place in the GTPs, is coming through. We see Terho continuing on. He was able to stop the bleeding.
He's on the chip. He's on the chip now, Joe. He's not happy. Watch him charge on Jamie Hall. This is going to be interesting when he gets to Hall.
Yeah, he's able to get it back in 4th place. Meanwhile, Prototype's closing in. I did not expect this. Linda Luoto and Lepisto down to half a second. Boy, things getting interesting at the top of the field of both classes. Don't forget, just behind them, that's the car of Timo Toika, keeping them honest. Another one of the Busch Fink drivers taking that fantastic livery onto these vintage cars as we ride on board with Linda Luoto. Right into the tire tracks of Antti Lepisto, climbing up the Kamel straight. He's a little too far back for a pass this time by. He's still got 14 minutes left. Even though it's less than half the race to go, he's going to have opportunities. Follow Toika out of Malmedy, down into Ravage. Downhill braking off camber right-hander. Look at that, 3 in a row. Our top 3. Just great stuff between these drivers. These guys never fail to put on a show. Whoa, you were talking about Antti Terho.
Yeah.
He's made short work of Jamie Hall.
I was typing a note to you guys as you brought it up. It's this is it right here. Terho is definitely in the slipstream here, and boy, he might just have enough legs here to pass him.
I don't think it's might. I think he will.
Here we go in the Lacoon.
If he can outbrake him, he's got it done. They're going to go side by side into the chicane. Oh, great defense from Jamie Hall, but it's going to switch back into Malmedy.
They're in each other, having fun.
And he's going to let him have the position back.
Yep.
Oh, that's great sportsmanship. We see that a lot here in the Kamel GT series. They race hard, but they race fair. Terho wants to get it without shoving him off track.
This has brought Riley Thompson into the mix. Riley still up 7 spots, Joey. Riley's had a good day. I know he wants the podium. Still, not bad.
Bit of a battle. I thought we had a battle for 7th, but looks like not anymore.
I said Riley was up 7 spots, not in class overall. I miscalculated my numbers there, Joe.
And I misinterpreted a note, but we got a battle for 3rd overall. 2nd overall, Timo Toika manages to get a run on Lina Luoto up the Kamel straight. He's on the...
Yeah, sorry, Joe. Wait. You still got this battle going on between Hall and Terho. Yeah. And here comes Riley Thompson trying to get his nose in there. Jamie's going to hang on. Boy, Terho was up past him. Had to move done, and now Hall's streaking away.
It's taking on all comers, not letting anyone by. But look at this battle coming up behind them as we go to a replay of the pass for 2nd place. The Finn just let himself take that slipstream up the hill, round the outside, deep on the brakes. And Lina Luoto had no answer. Meanwhile, boy, Chris Howard and Johnny Bell are in a battle for position that is coming up on our battle for 3rd place here in the GTOs. This is going to get very interesting in a moment. Well, maybe going to look for 3 wide. Nope, going to wait patiently.
Oh, Terho is putting the pass on Hall or on Lake up here. On Hall, I'm sorry. Both cars are identical. Terho finally pulls it off and gets past Hall. But look at this. Here we go. We've got
Howard coming up the inside. Yeah, down into Ravage. And ooh, try to keep it tucked to the inside there, Johnny. I think he's got it. If he can just get the power down, now he finally clears Hall. Tense stuff here in this battle for a podium in the GTOs.
Howard finally gets by Terho. Here comes Johnny. And he's going to get it clean.
Nicely done. Now Terho's left behind Jamie Hall, who's... Oh, and battle for the overall lead. Lepisto being challenged by Toika. Where has he found this speed from? He's run down 2nd, he's run down 1st, and in 2 identical moves, he takes P1 away. Wow. Is there some damage we don't know about on 1st, or what was 1st and 2nd? Toika's just turned up the wick.
Yeah, he has. Yeah.
Look at this. Just exact same move. Executed to perfection.
He had it all the way out there to the left on the line, too.
Bushfink has shown their dominance now in the Kamel series. They seem to have the pace everywhere we go here on the Global Sim Racing channel. And now that we've rocked up on the iRacing Esports Network, it looks like they want to show that they've got the speed here, too. 2nd place, still pretty tight there between Lepisto and Lina Luoto. They work their way through some traffic.
Joe, Riley Thompson definitely was aggressive in the La Source, but look at this traffic jam.
Yeah, splitting the car of Bronislav Robanek. He safely lets them through, though. Oh, a little bit more traffic causes a checkup to Lepisto. Lina Luoto looking around the outside, down into the bus stop chicane. Can't quite get it done under braking, so they're going to go side by side. Don't forget Nicholas Schneider. He's caught up to the back of these guys, tries to make it 3 wide, but runs out of track as I almost think he made contact. Woo! Still side by side. Up to La Source. Lepisto's got the inside. Doesn't have the grip off the corner. Great launch off the hairpin for Lina Luoto.
Well, we wanted a fight in the season finale, Joe, and we're getting it.
Grab your popcorn. This is not over yet. Lina Luoto under threat from Lepisto as he slips up the inside on the way to Lacombe. He's going to try and get it back. Snyder giving watch behind them. Oh, wow. Great move around the outside defending for Lina Luoto. And as this is happening, Turho lost another position. Sean, did you catch that one?
Joe, I was kind of following with you. I didn't catch it, but yeah, Riley Thompson's going to get by. Terho, I think, made a mistake. I'm going back and watching this now. Yeah, we've got it on the replay here.
And we'll have to come back to an incident with Lepisto and Schneider after this because they came together.
Yeah, Terho just let them by, Joe, and I'm not sure exactly what happened, but maybe he's dealing with some technical gremlins there on his end.
Not sure if we've got the replay on it, but into Ravage, Nicholas Schneider stuck his nose in on Lepisto, and it did not go well. Lepisto was into the barriers. Here we go. Let's take a look at it. Man, DH driver, his eyes were bigger than his brake foot, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's a shame to see that battle come to an end, to be honest with you, Joe. We just lifted him right up off the tarmac there.
Well, that doesn't lose Schneider a position, but Lepisto slips down to 4th. Lina Luoto continues on in 2nd, well ahead of these guys. And ahead of it all, Teemu Toika, because of that battling, has stretched the lead out to 2.5 seconds and has not looked back with 6 minutes left to go.
A lot of Teemu Toika fans in the race chat right now, Joe.
And I'll tell you what, he qualified 6th position, 6th to 1st. This is just an incredible drive. He continues to make brave moves around the outside of Radillion on Hideki Koivisto. I am impressed. Let's give a shout out, though. Ever since Terho lost the lead in the GTOs, Rob Olenek, he's just been unfazed. He's got a 2.5 second lead himself over Phil Lake. Yeah,
Rob's, listen, that's all Rob needed was to just kind of get out of the clean air a little bit, and he's showing what he could do here at Spa. But Riley Thompson, I'll tell you what, doing a heck of a job right now, hanging on to 4th place. Antti Terho is all over it right now, and with only 5.5 minutes left, Joe, this is going to be spicy.
I have no doubt. You know that Riley likes to fight for position. So let's see what Terho brings to the table as they work their way through Stavilo. Don't forget, that's Jamie Hall just ahead of him. We can't see it since we're looking out the back of Thompson, but he's not too far ahead. This could be a 3-way fight for the podium in a second.
Somebody's got to get that 3rd spot, Joe.
Well, even if they all wreck out, it's got to go to someone. 5 minutes left to go now.
Didn't we have Dirty Torque on the podium last week too? I think Phil Lake. Yes, we did. They're going for 2 for 2 here.
Well, didn't they have a 1-2 last week on the podium? 1st and 2nd?
I believe it was. Yeah, right now they occupy the 2nd and 3rd spots.
Still not a bad showing by that team. So we watch Riley Thompson braking late to keep Terho back. Maybe a little bit too late. He was off the apex, but Antti not able to capitalize as they come down the hill. Not missing anything up in the GTP class. All the leaders have spread apart up there. This is really our closest fight for the upper positions in either class, and here we go. Thompson under threat as Terho looks around the outside. Can he get it done by the braking for Lacombe? Yes, he does, and I think this time he's not going to hand it back.
Boy, you saw him brake so late there. He kept the car under control. So hard to do in this Audi, Joe. That's for the pros.
Targets are up now on Jamie Hall, but let's step up because Martin Krejcik and Sean Romig are in a battle for a top 10 and the GTPs.
Boy, what an outing this would be for Romig if he could pull off a top 10, Joe. Romig, I believe this is the first time we've seen him this season.
I want to say yes. I feel like his name may have shown up in this series a long time ago, but I'm not entirely sure. I like his paint, though. That classic Jägermeister scheme.
We've got one Jaeger Audi and one Jaeger Nissan. Shots for everybody. We don't condone or encourage drinking during a race or during the broadcast.
Actually, not if anybody does it to us mispronouncing names. So as we jump back up to Mukanos in 6 here, he's trying to hold off Joni Kajanen. Battle for this spot is on. Of course, you can see that Mukanos teammates with our leader, Rob Olenek. A lot of drivers tend to flock together, even though we don't cover a team's championship in this series. Just going to hold behind in the tire tracks for now, Joni Kajanen.
Oh, just up in front of him. This is getting crazy. As Tapani Littlewoto gets through. Here comes the guy we've been watching all day, Antiterho, trying to get this move pulled off, and I think he does it, Joe. He gets it away from Jamie Hall, up to 3rd for Antiterho.
Gutsy stuff from Antti. That Finn really, really wanted to get back onto the podium, and he was not taking no for an answer. Jamie Hall, it's slotted back into 4th, and Riley Thompson could have had a run, but instead, it's Hall who's got a run on Turho with that slipstream. The big hole in the air that these cars cut means that he's going to move to the outside. What is Antti able to do under the braking? We've seen him brave before, but not brave enough. Back, Hall goes into 3rd.
They're going to get one more lap to do that, Joe. I want to be on the right side of that when it happens.
Yeah, indeed. Look at the clock ticking down. Our overall leader just ahead of them. So they're going to take the white flag at the same time that he will. There you see Toika with a gap of about 3 seconds over Lena Luoto. Closest battle really still for this 3rd spot in the GTOs. The order: 3rd, Jamie Hall. 4th, Antiterho. 5th, Riley Thompson.
Nick Schneider, like the proverbial bull in the china shop, coming through what was Puhan. He gets into the back of Nick Mukanos. Mukanos does a great job of hanging onto the car. Ooh, and Joni Kajanen right there to take this spot away from Mukanos if he can't hang on here for another lap and a half.
Wow. Marginal stuff there with Schneider and Mukanos. Credit to both of them coming away from that. But meanwhile, look at this battle for 3rd now has to deal with that proverbial bull.
Yeah.
He's going to get by Thompson. He's going to try and go around the outside. Oh, no! Oh, and Turho gets into a second time. Thompson now into him. All 3 cars scatter off the track.
Are you kidding me? Wow, Joe.
Well, we use this phrase usually for different situations, but in the case of this bull, you break it, you bought it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of dishes that he's going to have to pay for, I think.
That gets Jamie Hall back up into 3rd. Riley back to 4th. Still got a car that can finish the race.
This means that Lepisto finds himself in 3rd in the GTPs. So final lap here for Teemu Toika, who's just been above it all, basically. Working his way out of no-name corner, down the hill, into the valley. From that 6th spot, from the 3rd row. Just amazing stuff for Toika. I am severely impressed. We've seen him perform well in this series before, but the pace that he showed early really hid what he had underneath himself. out of Stavelo, out of Curve of Paul Frere, or Stavelo too, depending on who you ask. Blasting his way up towards Blanchimont. And again, the finish line is out of the bus stop. It's not out of La Source, even though they started the race there. Easily through that fast left-hander. Going to overtake one last car potentially here. That is Cedric Poyle just ahead of him. Is he going to let him finish? I think he's going to let him finish. But Timo Toika is going to take the win here at Spa in the GTPs. GTO is being led by Rob Olenek. Just one more corner for him as well.
Yes, sir.
Lepisto sneaking his way past. And Sean, I'll let you call this one.
Rob Olenek takes advantage of a mistake about 25 minutes ago and brings her home. The New Englander takes the first spot on the podium. Great run by Rob Olenek today here at Spa.
And I tell you what, it's still a 2-3 despite the chaos we saw. Lake gets second, Hall gets third.
Thompson hangs on for the fourth there, Mukanos fifth. And unfortunately, Mukanos, or not for Mukanos, but for Yoni Kaizen, and he had a chance to get that away from Mukanos. But, well, that blue Nissan came back up through the field damaged and kind of got in the middle of that battle there at the end.
Poor Turho. What was looking like was going to be a win wound up being a 7th place for him.
Yeah. Still a great race, Joe. There's lots going on.
Man, I enjoyed this one a lot. All right. Well, with that, the last of the cars coming across the line, we're going to take a break here on the Global Sim Racing channel. We'll come back with the official results as well as driver interviews, and stick around because on screen you're going to see all the upcoming races here on the GSRC. Welcome back to Spa-Francorchamps. I hope you caught your breath. It's a wild one in the Kamel GT series. This is pretty normal for them, honestly, if this is your first time watching. But in the end, Teemu Toika managed to take the win, going from 6th on the grid. And my hat's off to him. Tapani Linavuoto going from 3rd to 2nd. Antti Lepisto, a bit disappointing there. He started in 1st on the pole, and he'll have to accept a 3rd place. John Keefe going from 9th to 4th. Great run from him, with Nicholas Schneider taking 5th place. He fell down the order after starting on the front row. The end of the race, of course, a little bit disappointing for him. Ben Laughter takes 6th. He as well made quite a climb. He started from 15th. Pablo Suarez, he got into a bit of trouble a few times. He finishes 7th. Fabian Jungbluth takes 8th. Clayton McLeod with a 9th place behind them, with Martin Krejcik finishing in 10th. Sean Romig in 11th, and Chris Howard finishing 12th. Johnny Bell takes 13th spot, with Don Peak rounding out the finishing GTP cars in 14th position.
All right, here we go, Joe. Rob Olenek with the big win today. Phil in and around the lake, going to bring it home in 2nd. His teammate, Dirty Torque Racing, Jamie Hall, finishes there in 3rd. 2nd week in a row, they're both on the podium together. Riley Thompson sits there in 4th. Still a great race for Riley. He had good speed here today. Nick Bucanos, a 5th place finish for him. Joni Kajanen, a so-so qualifying effort, does net him a 6th place finish. Antti Terho. Antti is on his way to maybe winning this race a couple of different times today, Joe. He'll finish 7th. Matthew Jette, 8th. 9th goes to Reed Miller. Franco Scurry will finish 10th. Kirill Kolobuzov will finish 11th. Branislav Romanek, 12th. 13th for Brian Shanahan. Giorgio Buscemi will finish 14th. 15th to Thomas Delmuth. Cedric Poyle, 16th. 17th for Miroslav Jurasek. Hideki Koivico, 18th. I'll take the rest of the field here real quick. 33rd overall, Guilherme Gravo and Jose Sanchez, 15th and 16th. Mika Ilonen is there in 17th. Justin Albrecht, 18th for him. 19th and 19th in class. Darren Ferrer, and 38th overall for Luis Emerton. He finished 19th in class. 20th in class there for Mika Kibepuro. And Fabian Gerber involved in that, that very first incident that started the race. Unfortunately, Gerber is going to be the last car in this 40-car field today, Joe.
And we've got a few of our drivers here to talk to us. First up is our winner in the GTPs, Teemu Toika, ready to tell us about that run to the front. First of all, congratulations, Teemu. Second of all, where did that pace come from at the end after qualifying 6th? You just stormed up to the front.
I'm not sure, actually. I just drove my own race. I don't know. I'm just speechless after all this. I started from 6th, and then the 2 guys who started in front of me wrecked in Eau Rouge, and I barely avoided that. And then just kept my head calm, and then tried to maintain my position up behind Niklas and Antti and Tapani. And I don't know. I'm flabbergasted.
Well, I can understand. You beat 2 drivers with over 7,000 and 6,000 iRating respectively, so that's no mean feat. Now, we understand from the chat that you've got a bit of a nickname. Is there any story behind a Fat Teemu, or is it just something for fun that came out of nowhere?
I don't know. It came from myself, actually. I'm a bit of a heavier guy, so I believe it originated from the copy pasta Fat Smoke number 14 or something. I don't know.
All right. Well,
Fat Smoke. I like that.
We like nicknames here, so if you're okay with that one, I certainly enjoy that one. We'll have to pick that one up. But a great way to end the season, and next season coming up. Obviously, you guys being on the iRacing Esports Network, getting a bit of a boost here in participation. Do you like having this big of a field out here?
Yeah, it was hectic, and I like that. I like the full grid 40 cars, and there was always something going on. Yeah, definitely.
All right. Well, again, phenomenal job out there. You absolutely surprised a lot of us, and in a good way. Congratulations on the win. We hope to see you next season.
Yeah, we'll see you.
Number 12, Bush Fink driver of Teemu Toika taking the win out there today. Next up, we've got Rob Olenek, I believe, winner in the GTOs, ready to talk to Sean.
We do. Let's get Rob over here. Rob, have you got me, buddy?
Yeah, I got you.
Man, that's how you finish the season right there.
It was awesome. 1, 2, 3 for Dirty Torque, too.
Yeah, you know what? And that's 2 weeks in a row with some pretty good success. What have you guys done here to put it together at the end of the season?
All season, we've been practicing together. We've been kind of sharing setup advice, trying to find out where each one of us is fastest and copy them in those places. Antti was the fastest Audi on track today, no question, though. I mean, the draft was the only thing keeping me close to him, and he just had an unfortunate accident in the bus, last carrot, whatever.
Yeah, well, it was unfortunate for all of you. In fact, you almost got caught up in that yourself. What's going through your mind right there, man?
Like, exactly what's going on? Like, I really had no idea what was going on there. I just got lucky. I think I just missed.
You did. You did. We replayed it. Yeah, you just missed him.
He was sideways in front of me, and I was like, please just go right.
Yeah. Well, Rob, you've done a lot of hard work in putting this together for everybody here in the Kamel GT Series community. I personally want to thank you. But what a debut here on the iRacing Esports Network. You pick up a win, and not only that, you do it in the season finale. Great job, man.
Thank you. Thank you guys, too. I mean, you guys are getting better and better. I'm glad we're on the eSport Network for iRacing now, too. I love the big field, too. Hopefully we'll get a lot more of this.
Yeah, well, okay, real quickly before I let you go, big field. You're a big fan of it then, obviously.
Definitely. I like the traffic. It just makes it much more exciting. I mean, you might get unlucky here and there, but it's fun.
Yeah, and you know, we were watching the registrations right up until the final minute, 40. You guys hit the magic number right at 40, no more, no less, and no split.
And we're actually not supposed to split. So we still don't know if it's going to happen because we've hit the number 2 times now. Someone disconnected right before the start of the race, and we kind of definitely would have known or not if iRacing actually put that through for us.
Well, listen, Rob, congratulations. We will see you for the Road America 500K here,
definitely
in a week.
Definitely.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Rob Olenek, our big winner in the Audis today. Really happy for him. Joe, you've got your literal pick of the litter here for your next interview. Who's it going to be?
Well, Tapani Lililuoto, I choose you. So we bring our second place finisher in the GTPs in. And Tapani, it seemed pretty hectic out there, especially for those first 3 spots. Boy, you, Lepisto, and Toika just had an almighty battle for some of the race.
Yeah, sure. It was quite fun, actually. Right from the go and lap after lap. On the Kamel straight, always somebody was coming from behind. And you just get to the side on the straight, and then it's into the Lecombe after that. And that anything can happen there, so it was quite fun.
Well, a lot of things seem to happen here today, especially with traffic. The long straights you would think would help out with dealing with that. But do you think it's the fact that the cars have to weave across the track in a lot of places that tends to cause some of the miscommunication?
Well, it was quite difficult. There are a few corners that are a bit ambiguous if you can pass or not, or how much communication do you need to make the pass work. And well, I had a couple of close calls myself, and in the end, I had a great outside pass in Puhan, so that was quite fun.
Well, I hate to cut this one short, but we got a lot of people wanting to talk to us. Again, congratulations on a second, and thanks for giving us a good show today.
Yeah, thank you too.
That's Tapani Lindaloto, second in the GTP class. Next up, Sean, I believe you have Phil in and around the lake.
I do. We're going to get Phil in here. Phil, you got a copy, my friend.
Hello. Yeah, I got you.
Phil, that was a little bit of fun, but Dirty Torque, these last couple weeks, you guys have been on a roll, man. Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, we really push each other in practice, and this made all of us better. So it's a good thing.
Yeah, and one thing we've noticed here, especially over these last several races, you guys are spending a lot of time on track right next to each other. Is that the plan going in? Safety in numbers?
We practice like that so that we feel it's just normal to be in a close battle, because that's kind of how the Audi field is a lot of the time. There's a lot of drafting. You can't really get away, so you're always close. So we practice like that as well, and then it just feels normal and you're calm, rather than like your heart rate going up because you're close to someone if you've been lapping alone all week.
Well, today was a full field, as full as we've seen this season. What was it like dealing with that traffic coming through?
Oh yeah, it was great to see such a big field. Yeah, the traffic was fun. I think I gained massively in the traffic, and then at the very end there, I lost a bit of time with a slowdown. But yeah, the traffic really helped my race a lot today.
Well, we get ready for the Kamel Road America 500K here in a week. What are your impressions going into that?
Should be fun. Road America isn't one of my favorite tracks, but any Kamel race is a good race, so I'm looking forward to it.
All right, Phil. Hey, cheers, my friend. We'll see you next week.
Yeah, thanks. Cheers, guys.
All right, Joe, that was Phil in and around the lake. And boy, you know, if any member of the band Yes ever catches on to his nickname, we might get a letter. I don't know. We'll see.
Yes isn't as popular as they used to be. I think they'll be appreciative of the exposure.
Maybe.
All right. Well, in the meantime, we have one of our Hoosier drivers here again, finished fourth place, almost quietly. We did see a bit of his action out there on track. John Keefe is with us. John, talk to us about your race, because you had to deal with all of the craziness with going through the traffic as well.
Well, before we go there, I actually need to correct you. I am going to claim win on this today, because looking at the order, the three guys in front of me are from Finland, and as we all know, they don't count. So
there's the Finnish class, and then there's the rest of the world,
and
class,
then there's
right?
the rest of us, exactly. So, but yeah.
And the other thing, I don't know if you heard my interview, two of those guys, a 7,000 and a 6,000 iRating. So you are in very good company up there racing to get this fourth. Do you think the experience that you have with this league really attributes to getting the good finishes?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, knowing the car, knowing what you can and can't do, especially in like low speed corners, because of the turbo lag, I think that's where the experience really pays off. But Spa is one of those tracks where I dedicate probably way too much time to practice and all that. So that also paid off this week. But yeah, just a good way to close the season. Really looking forward to the Road America 500. That's next Sunday, I believe, right?
Next Saturday.
Okay, thank you. I don't have the calendar in front of me, but
it's all good.
Yep. So looking forward to that. And there was a lot of new faces here today. That's awesome. So hopefully that'll be a continuing trend in the future.
Yeah, it seems like getting bumped up to the iRacing Esports Network has certainly helped people want to come out and enjoy this wonderful series. Thanks for talking to us. Congratulations on a 4th, and hope to see you next week for the 500.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys.
That was John Key, 4th place finisher. With that, we are going to close up here on GSRC and the iRacing Esports Network. A big thank you both to iRacing for bringing us on here and to the Kamel GT community for not only giving us a great race, but for organizing every season to bring GSRC back for your coverage. We've been doing it for more than a year now, and man, it has been fun the whole way. Thanks to the companies that provide the software and hardware for our broadcast listed here on your screen. Additional thanks go to Eric Ekholm and June Lalonde, who provide our wonderful music. See the screen for how to get a hold more of their great work. Thanks to the team today, Sean, Amjed, and Dougie. If you'd like to find out more about GSRC, including upcoming races, you can find it at globalsimracingchannel.com. You can also check us out on social media. We're on Twitter at GSR Channel, Facebook at Global Sim Racing Channel, and Instagram at GSRC_Graham. If you head on over to our YouTube page, since we're on the iRacing Esports Network live right now, GSRC's page has a big red button that says subscribe. Make sure you do that on the iRacing Esports Network as well if you aren't subscribed here. You won't miss a moment either here or there of any of our channels. The next race, as we mentioned, we'll be back in a week's time at the Road America course there, September 8th. That'll be at 3:45 p.m. GMT, 11:45 a.m. Eastern. So a little bit different from what our normal time is. We'll also have upcoming races for other series listed on the screen, so check those out and mark them down on your calendar. However, until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.